Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. It's actually Jackie Robinson Day. Sitting here watching the ESPN, some kind of video that they put together in honor of the recognition of the day. Um, just checking that out over here to the right. Um, I'm not really trying to bash Snowfall for the simple sake of bashing the show and being critical and hating. Um, I'm not, but it's a little stirring because a couple of artists that I like or that I know of just came out talking about Snowfall is great, and I'm like, really? Not you? One of those was Tracy Lee. I don't know if you remember Tracy Lee from back in the '90s. He had the I forget the name of the song, but one of my favorite rappers, Sky Zoo, out of Brooklyn. Huge Wire fan. Like every album that Sky Zoo puts out has a reference to the Wire. But a couple of weeks ago on his Instagram account, he posted something about he just started watching Snowfall and binge watched it and got caught up all the way to present. And he was talking about Snowfall is great and it's up there with The Wire. And I'm not really trying to debate with nobody on it. I don't really see I don't really see any comparison between the two, to be honest with you. But what's really bothering me about, well, my main shortcoming with Snowfall and a lot of the, even a show like Power, um, maybe The Shy to a lesser degree. But one thing that's pissing me, not pissing me off, but one thing that's just not jiving with me for Snowfall is all the stuff that has to be going on in Los Angeles right now as this is happening, as this is unfolding, as Franklin Saint is making all of this money supposedly. I think they last week they showed a bank statement of like $21 million or something. We aren't really seeing much of the world of the Snowfall universe, if you like. We don't even talk about the cookhouse anymore, the stash house. It's like all of that's gone now. We don't even see, we don't even see like the territory no more. What's happening? But the thing that's really bothering me is with this, like I said, with everything that has to be exploding right now, we're not talking about the growth of the Crips and Bloods and the violence between those two organizations. We haven't seen nothing from City Hall, the mayor of Los Angeles, the chief of police the chief of police in the city. We haven't seen nothing like putting all this together. It's just so focused on Franklin Saint kind of being this mastermind, in his thing. And that's cool. I mean, I guess that's what people want to see. But, you got to think the murder. I mean, and it came in, the police got involved a little bit with the murder of the little girl of Khadijah's daughter and Scully's daughter. But, Fatback was killed. No heat from the police on that. And then this week, so we get to Sleeping Dogs. This wedding, the funeral. What was that? The funeral for Fatback was shot up. No policeman involvement. No investigation. No nothing going on. So this just kind of allows Franklin and his group to just do whatever they want to do, and there's really no connection to anything. There's really no ramifications of nothing. There's nothing. And that's what I thought was really well thought out and well executed about in The Wire was nothing happened without it affecting something else in the Wire universe or the Wire ecosystem or whatever, you know. And it's just like on Snowfall, just it's all set up for Franklin to win, you know, hands down. So and like I said, even if you go back to Power, all kind of stuff was happening on Power, and the New York Police Department was basically inept. Like they weren't able to do much of anything. They did have the Blanca coming around or whatever, but okay. But like I said, here with this situation in Los Angeles, like knowing what was going on at the time, a lot of negative effects really had to be happening from what's going on right now in this time period, and they don't even really focus on much of none of that. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get on off of here, wrap this up. But this whole situation with with Franklin kind of finally getting the upper hand on Man Boy and resolving that situation with Jerome paying back, Man Boy's people for the shooting of his wife, Louie. So they set up this, they said Franklin, like I said, with him being a mastermind, he turns the tables on Man Boy and draws him out by flipping Tinashe. Okay. So then, of course, Man Boy comes over to Tinashe's apartment knowing that he's been played. So he shows up to take care of her. And of course, you see that Franklin and the crew are waiting on him. And then out in the street, they shoot up the whole car full of Man Boy's team. Assault rifles, every shooter just, what do they call that? Extreme prejudice. Eliminate everybody in the vehicle. No police, no innocent bystanders, just nothing. And then Jerome just walks through the apartment complex or whatever he had to get through to get up to the front, to get up to T's door, just walking around with a Uzi with a suppressor on it or whatever. No mask, no nothing. Then they go in there and shoot up Man Boy, execute him, have the little one-liner, he always talked too damn much or whatever. And then they finally give some acknowledgement, to police or law enforcement that that Tinashe has to put together some kind of lie to square all of this away, so that there's no investigation beyond that. Despite a damn car has been sprayed up out in the front, and Franklin is just like, I'll leave it up to you to put that together. And I'm just saying, like, that's just not believable to me. Then they leave out of the house. They leave out of Tinashe's apartment, and Jerome still has the Uzi. Come on, man. For real. Then even when we get over to Teddy and when we get over to Teddy and him taking out the reporter, I can't remember what the Asian lady. You already saw this coming. This was telegraphed. But he goes into a bar and sits down and has drinks with her for over an hour. And buys drinks from the bartender, and sits there and tells his story on tape. And then she goes and drive. They go to drive off, and she drives. Where are you going to drive in the city of L.A. and just have a crash, and ain't nobody else around? And I know this is detailed and nitpicking, but seriously. So then, of course, Teddy, pops up. She crashed into this truck. He comes up and suffocates her, and then takes the tape player out of her bag and puts some pills in her bag. Her fingerprints aren't going to be on the pill bottle. But again, no investigation whatsoever from LAPD to track down where she was coming from, where was she last seen, and that somebody would say she was sitting over in this booth with this white cat for over an hour. So and that very possibly could happen, I guess, in a next week is the season finale and whatnot. But again, I just think that's just been an area of weakness, in my opinion, for the show, is that all of these different things can happen, and there's really no thought given to how that would affect other things in Los Angeles. Even when Manboy fired the shot in Tanase's apartment when he was threatening her last week, like nobody called the police. You got bullets going through apartment walls and stuff. I know that's really nitpicking, but I'm just saying, man, that's part of the that's just part of the weakness of the show to me. I mean, if you think back to The Wire, like even the situation with Old Face Andre, when they started introducing Old Face Andre to turn around and set him up. And well, I won't even get into all of that, but and we gotta, shout out to my man Latours Harrison and the Conceited Nobody channel. We're talking about, they just took this stripper, Diamond and whatever her name is. They just took these two strippers and made them contract killers, basically. Muscle, hit women. These are basically the two characters from Smoking Aces with Alicia Keys and Taraji, basically. But it's just like what women were doing, and even Khadijah herself, what women were out here in the game like that back in 1983, 84. And it doesn't add up. And then for it to be the strippers, like, how are you going to be stripping and be in the hood putting in all kind of work, but you have this public job of being on a pole X amount of nights per week? And that just doesn't even, that's just so cliched and ill-conceived to me. It's just laughable. But, hey, what do I know? As usual, man, pay me no mind. I'm just thinking out loud. The season, this was a very strong episode for the season. Obviously, with a lot of key situations being resolved, a lot of key and driving conflict was quickly wrapped up. But again, man, it's just, in terms of comparing this to The Wire, man, Snowfall is just child's play to me. So anyway, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I'm getting ready to do this interview with my guest, Shaquaya Bailey, I think is how you pronounce her first name. We're going to talk about some fitness and this ride that she recently completed in traveling to and from Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C. on a freaking bike. I think she rides Giant, but Talking to her at 7:30. Let me get on off of here, man. Peace.